Warning. The facts you are about to hear are based off 2 hours of researching the pros and cons of history's heroes and most controversial figures. This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history.
I started messing around with old stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. And also, I've been looking into recently. Somebody was like, "Yo, you should take your pictures and you should make NFTs of them." You know what an NFT is?
No, tell me what that is.
It's like it stands for like, I think it's people are gonna go crazy. I'm gonna butcher it. Functional.
NFT.
Token.
It's called NFT images or whatever.
Yeah, and apparently you can like make stores of NFTs and people can buy them. So I'm just looking into that. Somebody brought it to my attention.
Non-fungible tokens.
Right? That's that word?
Non-fungible tokens. I don't get
it. Bro, it's so dense and weird, but I'm looking into it. So I started researching that.
Yeah.
That's about it. And fucking I'm applying to the guild. I'm applying to the guild soon. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually.
Fucking yeah. I'm applying to work in your field as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Hopefully we make lots of money. Hopefully all these things that you've been telling me come true. If I get there and I make like comparable money to what I'm making now, I'll be cheesed, yo.
Can you imagine?
Oh, no, but everyone's telling me when I go to the training thing, they're saying the same thing. But they said I can work both jobs for a while anyway, so
yeah, definitely. That's what I was saying.
It's no rush to leave my place.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I have been doing is making art as well.
Have you? Oh yeah,
I started a new art page
about that
this week.
You call it an art page?
It's art, is it not?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
bro, you can make those into NFTs.
I don't know.
And then what you do is you have like, let's say you'll make like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Right. And then you sell them and then people collect them. So if they think this is going to become a big thing, they collect your NFTs, they keep them, and then they have proof. And then all of a sudden they can sell them as they become rarer and people want them. Well, as they sell them, you make money.
Even though it's not my ass and not my quote. Yeah, I'm talking, of course, guys, about bare ass quotes. A never-ending supply of ass and quotes. Inspirational. Aspire to be inspired. Yes.
He's a Tony Robbins of the ass game.
Tuesday night, I was looking at Instagram. I was looking at ass, and I was looking at quotes. I looked at one girl's ass, and she had a caption that was like something inspirational. I'm like, what does that have to do with that ass? And I'm like, why do girls do this? And I'm like, why don't I do this? Why don't I do this?
That's all my explore section is.
Why don't I post asses and inspirational quotes in one place at one time? A one-stop shop for all you can inspire and look at ass.
Right? Like it's a combination. It's the left and right brain going together, you know?
Yep.
You're getting some literature in there and you're getting some primal shit in there.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Yep. And that's a great way to get our episode started, talking about literature.
Why? Why? Did this guy do anything with ass?
You know what this guy did? This guy worked wonders with words. And speaking of working wonders with words, he tried to limit certain words in his books. He got challenged. Only use 50 words this time. He said, no problem. I'll make a fucking book with just 50 words. The reason I bring that up is because I say and like too much. So I'm going to try and limit my words today.
Ooh, that's hard.
In honor of a literary genius, but maybe a literal racist.
I didn't know.
In the 1920s? No.
Racist in the 1920s. You mean a regular guy? Is that
Damn.
what you mean?
But this guy might have been a little over the top. We're going to get into it. Erase him, deface him, replace him. That's what we talk about here on Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. And currently in the present, we have somebody being called out for being a little bit of bad boy in history, a conqueror of the book game, Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. What's his real name?
Ted Ted Geisel or something. No, I can't believe I didn't even write that down. That's so embarrassing.
I've been hearing them say that in the videos I've been listening to. It's like Glycis. It's like Theodor Glycis.
Theodore, yeah, it's Ted. It's Ted. Ted Geisel, and
Geisel.
So he's not even a doctor, and Seuss isn't even his last name, and Seuss isn't even how you pronounce Seuss. It's actually supposed to be pronounced Seuss.
Hey! You're coming right out of the gate, real hot here. Just relax.
That's the right off the top shit with this guy.
Whatever. We listen to Bill Nye and the Science Guy, don't we?
What's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's a mechanical engineer. He's not a scientist. You know what I mean?
That sounds pretty sciencey to me. Whatever. Nerds are nerds, if you ask me. Call him a doctor. No, actually, doctors aren't nerds. Scientists are nerds.
Yeah. I got that class. Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah. So yeah, he came up in a time. Let's see when he was born. Let's get this.
Theodor Glycis.
Because he's this week. Okay. Let's hear what you know about Dr. Seuss. Welcome to the show, Pros and Conquerors, Bad Boys of History. I'm your host, James Jam Easy Cummins. I'm here once again with who?
Colin Cummings.
And what do you know about Colin? What do you know about Colin Cummings, Dr. Seuss?
Man, I don't know much about Dr. Seuss at all. Only know the books. And that the books have inspired many children to get real enthusiastic about reading. And that he's just sold millions and millions and millions of them. And I guess he started in the 1950s. He was like alive. Yeah, he was born 120 years ago.
He was born in 1904.
1904, almost.
Yeah, so he started off doing ads for like advertising. He was doing advertising, and then he did even war ads, like propaganda. And then he got into the children's shit.
Oh, and can I say, I always knew about these things that were black and they had like red lips.
Yeah.
Big red lips. I always knew about those things. I forgot. I don't know what they are, but I've seen that before when I was a kid. And I knew they were black people or monkeys, and the monkeys looked like black people too. When
I heard Dr. Seuss was getting called out for racist imagery, I said, "Oh, sorry, Dr. Seuss." When I heard he was getting called out for racist imagery, I couldn't remember what it was going to be, what it was going to look like. But when I saw, I will say, the black ones, pretty racist. The Asian ones, racist. But we are going to we'll pull up side by side and we'll compare when we get into it.
You're going to compare Asians and blacks?
We're going to compare the imagery.
Let me tell you something, Asians. We're going to win. Okay? If he's comparing us right now, we're going to win.
Where is it?
Because the Asian ones are like, they're people, but they just like the way he did like the eyes and the mouth and everything is just like out of control.
It's a caricature.
But the blacks are something special.
The black is like, okay. Let's pull up. And guys, for you listening or watching on YouTube, I am going to make a Instagram video where we're going to pull it up here so you guys can see at home too.
Yo, this guy's been ambitious lately.
So here we have
one
of his war ads. I'm going to show Colin.
Is that Hitler?
That's Hitler with Japanese caricature. Now,
what have you done today?
He does make Japanese teeth big and eyes slanty. But have you ever seen a guy that looks like that? Like, it's definitely an extra image, but
I guess I'm trying to think, but like not the nose. That's the thing, not the nose.
Not the nose.
You know, like it's almost like they make it piggish. It's weird.
Here we have, yeah, he puts the nose up.
But that was like a regular thing they used to do, like when they would act as it, like Jerry Lewis and shit. Like they would always do the thing and they'd hold their nose.
Yeah, that was something. It was still human.
Yeah.
It was still human, exactly. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to minimize racism towards Japanese people, but what I am going to say is I'm just going to pull up what he did for black people, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the difference.
Are those? Oh, those are those. See, this is what I remember. I remember them being like, I was always like, are those monkeys or black people?
So he put, I'll go to Africa Island of Yucca and bring back a zizzle zopped. Oh, I can't read this. It's so small. How do I zoom in?
I have no. Oh, press the plus button. You got a plus button on your computer, on your keyboard. Press it. See if that works. Oh, it actually worked. Wow.
Okay. I'll go to Africa Island of Yucca and bring back a rizzle-topped tooted mazooka, a kind of canary with quite a tall throne. His neck is so long. If he swallows an oat for breakfast the first day of April, they say. Okay, so he's not saying anything about the guys that are carrying him. So it doesn't say.
Because he's just like, fuck those people.
Yeah.
Those savages. They carry the Whizzle Wop.
Either way, that's what he's getting in trouble for, because that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. And you know,
And then here's another one of the. He got in trouble for this one. A Chinese boy who eats with sticks, and that one isn't even like overly anything.
no,
It's just the fact that they said, "You think Asians eat with chopsticks?"
but they do.
I know. I don't. We got it.
But
Okay.
I guess back in the day they were like minimizing it. Today we're like, yeah, they eat with chopsticks and that's their traditional thing. But he's saying it like they just eat with sticks. Look at these people. That's what he's saying, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
The one that I pulled up before of the Asian caricature was for a war ad. This is one that was in the actual Dr. Seuss book. And what do you think about those guys? Yeah, he really does something with their noses.
I don't know why they're like that about their noses.
Yeah.
I don't know. They must have saw something one day. But like what? They're carrying this thing on their heads. Something that I know of African people to do, not Asian people.
Then again, when he draws the Who's and he draws the Grinch, all of them have the noses that go up. So maybe that's just how he draws noses.
Yeah, like the
That
Simpsons.
might actually not be a racist thing. See, we're falling for it. Not everything is made about racism, Colin. Get that through your black skull.
But at the same time, if you look at everything around, you're thick, dense black skull.
Yeah, I know. The fact that you
If
didn't
you-
stop to laugh at that made me feel bad. I'm like, you really left me hanging out to dry on that.
Well, I thought of the dense part. I was like, yeah, that's good.
Anyways,
But that was like what year is this? Do you know what year these are? They're in the 50s, no?
I could find out.
Because I think this is around the time of like Jerry Lewis doing stuff like this too.
Yeah.
And also, why haven't
Probably
they
the
canceled
50s.
Jerry
Let's leave it
Lewis? What's
50s.
going on there?
Have they canceled them? I don't know. If I Ran the Zoo came out in 1950, yeah.
So there you go. So in the 19 this is how they depicted Asian people and black people. This is just how everybody did it. Like recently I posted that ad of like, it's an ad from like the 50s of varnish. Like it's like this white varnish.
Yeah.
And the ad is just two black kids like painting each other. And they're like, look how it takes the white away, or how it takes the black away.
Oh, man.
Like that's just what they did back then. They literally just used stuff like that constantly. Like this is actually very tame compared to like what was going on all around them.
Yeah,
if you
it
think
is.
about
But
it.
here's the thing. We're going to get into it. Guys, as we tell this story, as I looked into this story, I was like, on the side of, oh, come on. It's so long ago. Dr. Seuss, we're really going to cancel this guy? We're really going to cancel these books? Now, I'm not saying cancel the books. The books are the books. But am I looking at Dr. Seuss differently after the research I've done? Yes. And the thing is, yeah, he could have just been drawing pictures for the time, but this guy, in everything he did, put racism in it.
Everything?
He worked for an ad agency. He put racism in it. He worked for the war. He put racism in it. He worked for children's books. He put racism in it. So, like when I tell you the ad campaign that this guy did for a bug spray was drawing black people in Africa being like, bring us some of that bug spray because they're just covered in bugs, and same thing with Arabs. Like that was like his whole ad campaign. Oh man, I didn't want to just keep bringing up pictures right off the top. I was gonna save these for later, but now that I brought it up,
You got a lot of pictures.
I have to.
Bro, the NSA thinks you're a fucking white supremacist for sure.
So
They look at your shit.
it's okay. So he worked for an ad called Flit. It was Flit bug spray, and I I don't even want to. So it's
What,
an
you
Arab.
can't say "Oh Allah."
It's an Arab
okay.
guy saying, "Oh Allah, send a generous shower of rain to quench our sun-baked thirst." And it's an Arab guy on his knees pulling a camel with a traveler on the back of the camel, and it says, "Yeah, and how about a shower of flit to quench these damn mosquitoes?" So that one's not that bad. But
So they want to get showered in bug spray,
but then
because they got bugs all over them in the desert.
now this one.
Just look at the people. You don't even really have to say what it's even about when you look at the people. It's just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now read this.
What does that say? Whoa.
Okay, so we'll pull up the image, guys.
Hold on. What
Now,
did it say?
at the top, it's,
Bring it in.
let me describe what we're looking at for the people that are just listening.
Bring
So
it.
first picture is a guy catching bugs. It says insect department. Pick out flies for your ointment. Fly ointment. Good joke. Okay. Now at the top it says engineering department. First monkey wrench.
Hey. Just let me.
First monkey wrench is to throw in your machinery.
Let me handle.
Throw a monkey wrench in your thing. Okay.
You're getting
Now we go
getting too
haystack. Needle with a haystack. Now at the very bottom.
You're getting too close.
None of that made any sense. All to build this up. In the bottom, there's a picture of
Don't get yourself in trouble.
a white guy coming in a store, and there's a salesman.
Yo,
showing him a group of
there's the most black-faced people right now. This is an ad that he did.
This is an ad that he did for bug spray.
It says, "Take home one high-grade nigger for your woodpile satisfaction guaranteed." What does that even mean? They chop the wood, or they burn niggas? They want to burn niggas?
I can only hope that he means they're gonna carry the wood for you.
That's what I would think. Holy Jesus, for your woodpile.
Yeah.
Were they using niggers as igniter back then?
God damn.
What the fuck? So he did that?
He did that. That I don't know if that was for that one. Might not have been for the ad. He actually did a book of.
Damn.
Yeah, this is probably his book of boners. So he had a book called Book of Boners, and it was like people making mistakes and all this stuff. So I guess this is like that's a joke about fly in your ointment. That's a joke about monkey wrenches, and then this is the joke about burning black people.
I have no idea.
I don't know, man.
This is crazy.
So that's why I'm like, he didn't just.
So definitely
he didn't just throw a weird Asian in a book about going to the zoo and some bad drawings of what was going on in Africa. No, he straight up put racism in everything he did. Let me throw a little bit my secret ingredient, a little bit of racism in everything I do.
He's like that.
Dr. Seuss.
Just like that. Some high grade racism. Holy fuck. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo. I don't even know what to think right now. Okay. So he was very racist. I understand.
Yeah.
Now.
I didn't even mean to expose him all that right off the top.
That's crazy. Cause we're only like 20 minutes in.
I haven't even started talking about. I got too focused on pictures. Now let's get into what he's done. But
there's more. Jesus, it's hard. See what you just did for him right now. You gave him a real high hill to climb up.
I did. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how we did that. This episode's so backwards. This episode is a literary mess. If we wrote this episode as a book, it would never get published.
It would be a Dr. Seuss book. And
No.
I would be black faced.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Let's go back to something about Dr. Seuss. His buddy just bet. He made a book with only 250 words in it. That was Cat in the Hat. His buddy's like, I bet you can't do 50.
And that was that.
And Dr. Seuss is like, hold my beer. And he just wrote green eggs and ham with just 50 words.
Really?
Because there's so much I am. Green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. And then I will not do this on a boat. I will not. So I will not is 3 words that you can use over and over again.
Of course.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, so what? Those don't count as repetition? Like they don't count as he says I will not, and it doesn't.
So he
count
used
as the
50
second
words,
time?
50 different words, not like a total of 50. Yeah.
Okay.
So good for him.
Yeah, that's that's pretty good.
I'm saying, the guy could stun on you with writing.
He wouldn't
be over here saying and like. He would just be like,
He would be like,
Damn.
yeah, I don't even know how to fill that in. He'd probably be saying all sorts of things right now. Maybe he was just like, he just put his racism into his work.
All of his work.
He was just like,
all of his
I don't
work.
need this into my life, but if you ask me to make a picture,
Yeah.
you goddamn right there's gonna be some blackface in it.
My goodness.
Just a little bit.
Oh, you guys need an ad for bug spray? Have you thought about racism to sell that bug spray?
But
well,
and you know what? They were doing that. That was like that picture that you just showed, that was the same type of black person in the varnish.
so was that just how you advertised everything back then?
Yeah.
Throw a little racism in it?
Bro, black people have been selling products for white people for just decades and decades and decades.
Hey,
Since the 1800s, since cotton.
heard you're opening a shoe store. Why don't you throw a silly Asian on that commercial?
That's what advertisement companies do.
Yeah.
They're
We're gonna
just
need-
like, would you like some silly Asians or some Negroes? Because we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a guy that paints some great Negroes, big lips. You'd never believe it.
Yeah. Oh, I heard you're opening a barbecue store. Well, we got Asians with big teeth or black people with big lips. Which one do you think's more your brand?
Can you do the nose on the Asian? I can definitely do the nose on the Asian. You don't even have to ask about the
Can
nose
you give
on
me
the
a smelly Arab?
Asian. Would you like flies or mosquitoes?
Just stink coming off them.
All right, stink lines and flies, no problem. You're gonna be selling lots of this. What is it you're selling? It's ice cream. You're gonna sell lots of ice cream.
Could we get that Arab with a bomb strapped to his chest? This ice cream is the bomb.
Advertisement companies are just wild.
Wild boys.
But you know what?
That was Mad Men. They used to
Basically.
just slap girls on the asses, drink whiskey at their desk, and write racist fucking advertisements. Is that in Mad Men? I never watched the show.
I never watched it.
Are they just
either,
making mad racist ads? Dr. Seuss and
That's
shit?
probably what's happening, but they probably don't lead up to that. The shows is probably all around that, but you never see the actual racist ads.
If there's no racist ads in that show, however many seasons it was, then I'm not letting Dr. Seuss off the hook. If Mad Men couldn't acknowledge that the 50s was dominated by racist advertisements,
That's
that
crazy.
means it's a fucking him problem. That's a Seuss problem.
They were like, racist ads everywhere. No.
Yeah.
There was only one guy who did racist ads.
And you think when
That's why he changed his name.
No, I'll tell you why he changed his name. He changed his name because when he went to Dartmouth, the college, he was the editor of the paper. He used to make funny cartoons for the funny paper. Sorry, he used to be that guy that contributed that. Now, he got caught drinking gin, and he was going to school when a time when alcohol was illegal.
Prohibition.
Prohibition. Sorry. So the dean kicked him off all extracurricular activities, but then to sneak his articles still in there, he just wrote under Dr. Seuss. And he meant it, Dr. Seuss. Yep.
Maybe that's exactly what he meant. Maybe he's just a young kid. And they were like, what name do you want? Make it Dr. Seuss. Yeah, put Dr. Seuss down.
Yeah. Because Seuss was his middle name.
And what? For real?
Yeah.
Actually?
100%.
Wow. So that's actually that's almost like a graffiti artist name. For you to take your middle name and make it Doctor
Yeah.
and then call it Dr. Seuss.
Am I right?
And in reality, he was like, Seuss.
Theodor Seuss Geisel. Seuss. What
That's
kind of name
so
is that
weird.
anyways?
What? Seuss?
Yeah, what do you think his background is?
Given how racist he is, I'd say German, Austrian.
I know, right? The picture of Hitler is just a perfect picture of Hitler. He looks like so strong. And,
Nice straight nose, thick chin.
Yeah, nice chin.
Yeah, right?
Very proud.
And yeah,
head
he's
up.
like,
What have you done to save your country from them?
See what I mean?
Anyways,
just do shit like that.
the fact is, okay, when you're making war propaganda ads, I totally understand. Throw a little racism in it. When you're making advertisements, all right, you know what? Throw a little racism in it.
I guess. Yeah.
But when you're making children's books, Seuss, you cross the line.
Was there racism in the children books?
That's
I
where
don't even have to ask. It was just in everything.
I showed you the picture of those Africans carrying a bird for him.
The Zizzle's apple?
Yeah.
That's in a book.
That's in a book. That's if I ran the zoo. If I ran the zoo, I'd go to Africa, and these are the guys who would be carrying the bird to my ship.
And you can't even tell if they're people or animals. when you look at them. Like they look like they could be covered in fur or maybe not.
And then his book of boners. So that was like, I get the racism in there. If you're making a funny book in the early 1940s, that was before he even, or sorry, 1930 he wrote it. 1930, buddy, all jokes used to be racist. Even up until
For sure.
up until pretty recently, all jokes were racist.
I
Everything was
would
like an Arab or this and a that going to a bar.
I would say like people could classify as like racist like up until like I would say 19 or maybe 2000.
Yeah,
where things were like you could do like crazy accents.
An opening joke could just be like, okay, name. I won't choose a race. You choose a race.
Me?
Choose a race, and then I'm going to tell you an opening joke.
Black people.
3 dumb black people walk into a bar. Like that's what that they would like open things up like that. You know what I mean? 3 dumb this, 3 dumb. How many dumb?
They would
give me another race.
Something. Another race.
Or a country. Give me a country.
Thailand.
How many dumb Thai people does it take to screw in a light bulb? You know, and then they'd give you one some answer. The point is, all jokes were built off racism until pretty recently. Not all jokes, but
well, most you could say most of them have been based off race.
Yeah.
You know? Well, actually, I guess no, not all jokes based off race are racist, but yeah, that's always been a thing that they laugh at. I mean,
so he probably has so much. Okay, so 1930s, he had this series of books. It wasn't all about racism. I'm just saying, imagine how many pages were, because that was his comedy that he was going for. It was a book of boners, silly mistakes, and then there was the follow up boners, and then there was a follow up to that, more boners, and then there was another one, still more boners, and then there was prize boners, and then a little bit of an offshoot series, the ominous boners, and the sequel, of course.
Is this real?
Too.
Is this real? What you're saying to me right now?
Yeah, he had a series of, and this stuff. If you could find those ones, that could work into your art for your page.
That's actually what he called it all.
Yeah, so boners used to be called. It was like a way of saying like bloopers, like mistakes.
Yeah.
Like,
I know what a boner is, but like,
did you? I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Yeah, no.
The pocketbook of boners.
I've watched a lot of British television. They say shit like that. But fucking what the fuck?
When did hard dick start being called boners?
You would call a hard dick a boner because that was like a blooper.
Whoops.
Like, shit. I'm sitting in class and my dick's
no way.
That's a boner. Yeah.
I thought it was just because it feels like a bone instead of a muscle.
Because it happens at such inopportune times. You're trying to just be with the girl, and then all of a sudden your dick gets hard, and that's a boner.
Did you guys know this?
I knew that. You didn't know that?
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, boners aren't like dicks. Boners are just mistakes.
I thought boners were boners because it's like hard like a bone.
It's a mistake that you just couldn't control. It's just like, oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and that's usually how your penis gets hard. It's by mistake. Bro, your search history is wild. This guy's searching boner right now.
Boner definition.
The NSA is like,
a
you gotta
stupid
watch
mistake.
this guy.
An erection of the penis, yeah.
Yeah. Like, because it became that so much.
So synonyms for boner are mistake, error, blunder, fault, guffaw.
And cock. It says cock right there, right? No?
No, it doesn't say that there, but it means it. That's crazy. Well, we learn something new every day on history's Bad Boys of History. Pros and Conquerors. The Bad Boys of History.
Yo, it's so weird that he had a series and he called them all just different series of boners. And basically, this guy was like a dirty writer, basically, until he hit the children's stuff.
He was.
And the children's stuff, he's like, okay, I'll sprinkle it in. Like, you know, this will look like this will look like that. Like,
yeah.
Basically. He's basically like Walt Disney.
He actually tried to write some, not porn, but like something a little more provocative, but it was an epic failure, apparently. It was just a bunch of naked people, and he said he tried to make it sexy, and it wasn't sexy.
It's just naked people that he was drawing?
It was like these 3 sisters that would never put on clothes.
It's just 3 sisters. They never put on clothes, you understand. And then the guys come in, and, you know, it's bonus galore from there. They're like, Seuss, you got to stop this stuff, okay?
Now, after his foray into advertising and into these book of boners, then he wrote his first children's book, Mulberry Street, and it did pretty good. And then in 1940, he just started realizing like kids cartoon is going to be his jam, but he had to take a quick break from that to go draw war cartoons. We pulled up a little bit of those up earlier on in the show. Now, some of the stuff he was writing was like good stuff. You know, Hitler's a bad guy. Like this war isn't just like a bad war. Like we're actually taking care of some real shit over there.
Yeah.
But he did support Japanese internment camps. Now, I don't know if it's just because he didn't really understand what they were, but he was writing ads for people like showing like, yeah, they're just learning, guys. They're just learning stuff. Like if we had the chance to learn more, wouldn't we?
That's what he said about the internment camps?
That's what he said.
Don't they have things today called like re-education centers right now? Oh my God.
In China, they have that right now.
Wow.
And that's being called a genocide.
Fucked.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So he was trying to like water that down.
He was, but then he made some Japanese friends, and later on in life, when he wrote Horton Hears a Who, that's supposed to be an apology to Japanese people. Now, Horton hears a who, and he realizes that his actions can hurt a lot of people.
This is crazy.
A lot of people that you didn't even really realize were there.
He's a horrible man.
They've said that could be the deeper meaning of Horton Hears a Who, but they've also said that it's like an allegory or an analogy for why you shouldn't get an abortion.
Oh, Jesus.
Horton Hears a Who. Let's see what they say the meaning is. The message. This classic offers commentary on the U.S. occupation of China after World War II. The Who's were the people of Japan, and Ted was saying, you have to listen. A person is a person, no matter how small, no matter what you may think. So yeah, that was his way of saying. Hey.
True indeed.
Yep. And the quote, should I put this speck down? Horton thought with an alarm. If I do, the small persons may come to great harm.
Jesus, this guy was just brainwashing people. This guy sounds horrible. I can't read this to my kids now.
Why, you think that's bad? Now he's saying we fucked up. We shouldn't do stuff that hurts other people.
Yeah, but like when did he write that? At the time when they had to start like paving over the bad shit they did? You know what I mean?
Horton Hears a Who came out in 1954, so it was almost 15 years after he wrote those ones about internment camps. Well, about 10 years after, let's say.
And it was just as he realized he was in the children's space, right? So he's trying. That's a little cleanup job.
A little cleanup job, yeah. Nice. It is. It's tough to say. Like, when did he learn? When did he change? Did he really change, or was he really just a racist guy? And was he so racist to the point where it wasn't ever going to change? Now, do we have to cancel him? Do we have to throw his books away? Personally, I don't think so. But I totally would understand if somebody said, "I'll never buy a Dr. Seuss book," and kind of let the market dictate the canceling. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. I'm definitely not going to get the ones with African people in it or monkeys or anything.
Yeah.
You'd have to stay away from those ones for sure. As a black person, I don't know. Also, you know, I'm black, so there's other people I can find that rhyme just as well as he does that I can put my kids onto. That actually brings up a very good point. Why is there not a black Dr. Seuss that's replaced this guy? Let's go, guys.
I know. You guys know how to rhyme.
Yeah,
like,
what are you guys waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
There has to be somebody who writes rhymes who could just top this shit.
Like Nas, for sure. Think about Rewind.
Tory Lanez.
Rewind, where he raps a whole story backwards. Imagine a children's story where he tells the whole children's story backwards.
Yo, that's why I roll with white guys like this. You don't know a white guy that knows about the Nas song Rewind. You don't know one. Thank you.
The toy's arm's off, broken. The arm goes back in his shoulder. Like he just...
Yeah, that is a sick song. I forgot about that song. That's such a good song.
She's screaming, shoot, don't please.
Yeah. Oh, that song's sick. I wish we could play that.
Just looking into other meanings of other books, he had a book called Yertle the Turtle, and that was another one that had a metaphor for the war. Yertle, it is a metaphor for dictators like Hitler. Yertle had a mustache, so Yertle was kind of like supposed to look like Hitler. I thought it was I thought it was gilding the lily a bit. Yertle, Hitler. Oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm reading right now. I should really try to look at stuff before I read it.
They're just saying like little quotes. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But basically,
ooh, he had one. Okay.
Hitler.
The Sneetches offered a critique of anti-Semitism and also racism. So brilliantly had Dr. Seuss written the story that as a child and teenager, I couldn't even understand how someone could be a bigot. How could anyone dislike someone else simply because of the color of their skin or the shape of their eyes or the country they came from? So basically, somebody got that message from Dr. Seuss. They felt like, how could you be racist? And Dr. Seuss wrote that in 1961. So
it's crazy. See, like
he did write books that were making people think otherwise, even though.
Or was he shifting with the times, man? You can find video of Hillary Clinton talking about black people being super predators. And then you can find footage of her in today's age talking about how she carries hot sauce at Charlemagne.
So do you think he was fake? He's faking it?
He could. He could be. It could be that, or it could be that he learned and he's changing. Because like it could be possible. You know what I mean? You're sitting around writing children's books all day. Like maybe you get real soft. You just get real soft, and all of a sudden you have to think of better messages.
Yeah,
that would affect your mind. You know.
Now, his wife. I'm sorry to just bounce around like this, but I feel like we kind of covered his come up as a author, so I was gonna get to some personal life stuff. You know, he started writing books, guys. Yada yada yada. They had messages and they were good. And did he change with the time? Was he faking it? We'll never know. But what we do know is that he cheated on his wife who had cancer. What a dick. But that's kind of reminded me of the Midsummer thing that we were talking about earlier. Like, what, you're about to break up with this woman, she gets cancer, now you can't break up with her. So what's a guy to do?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. And also like she had bad cancer. Like she didn't die of cancer, obviously, but she had bad enough cancer. She was bedridden.
Buddy, in the 40s, everything was bad cancer.
Oh yeah, true. So she had cancer. You can't be fucking the brakes off your wife when she has cancer. You cannot do that. You'll kill her. You will speed up the death process.
Now, his wife committed suicide, and the reason I put that in quotations is because did she? Or did Dr. Seuss have such a way with words that he just murdered his wife and wrote her suicide note?
Whoa.
Because
could you imagine
she had a death date. The doctor said you have 3 months to live. He's like, all right, I'm going to start fucking other bitches. He falls in love. His side thing is like, you got to break up with your wife now so we can be together. And he's like, well, I'm not going to break up with her, but what I can do is murder her. She's going to die anyways.
The suicide note is like, I do not want to be a wife. I do not want to live this life. They're like, I don't know about this letter here.
I do not want to live this life, so I'll stab myself with this knife.
Holy fuck.
I do not want to live this life. No longer will I be your wife. I will not longer call you strife. We will no longer live this life.
And then she stabs herself.
But what she really wrote, let's see if it sounds like the work of Seuss. Dear Ted, what has happened to us?
Little scribbles of African people in the corner.
I don't know. I feel myself in a spiral, going down, 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 into a black hole, from which there is no escape, no brightness. And loud in my ears, from every side, I hear failure, failure, failure. I love you so much. I am too old and enmeshed in everything you do and are, that I cannot conceive life without you. My going will leave quite a rumor, but you can say I was overworked and overwrought. Your reputation with your friends and fans will not be harmed. Sometimes think of fun we had all through the years. Now, if that doesn't sound like he wrote it, covering all his bases,
that
like
literally sounds like he wrote that.
None of your friends are gonna be mad because you can say, like, just so everyone knows, like, I'm cool with it. I'm just killing myself.
She's like, hey, I know there's gonna be a big rumor, but hey, don't even worry. Like,
look at my wife's note. She covered it all for me.
This is crazy.
You're still pretty good. She might as well wrote, you have a big dick and I wish I could suck it more times. and the next woman should make sure to cherish that.
P.S. I loved your ass.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
And you're not racist.
You are so not a racist person. You are the least racist person I've ever met.
Even that racist stuff you did before, like, you didn't really know what you were doing, and then once you figured it out, like, you're so not racist anymore.
I know that you were forced to write those racist things by the government. You are a pure-hearted man with a penis as huge as my forearm.
He also did art. Have you seen any of his art?
Well, I can fucking guess what it is. His fucking art. Is it just big-nosed black people, Asian people standing behind them and shit?
Okay, wait.
Can't wait to see this art he has. It's just gonna be racist shit.
No, this is
It's just gonna be
like he got into some like psychedelic stuff later.
Oh really? It's gonna be like a monkey taking mushrooms, being like, I'm a black person now.
So he had a series called The Midnight Paintings. They were scheduled to be released after he died. And yeah, it's
release them after I die.
Like trippy shit. Like it's like still like in that world, but he painted some trippy stuff.
That?
Yeah, that one. So this one apparently, it's called this is supposed to be like the
intergalactic pool game.
The other cat. You know what I mean? There's the cat in the hat. This is the cat from the wrong side of the streets.
This is the cat from outside the hat.
Yeah, this is the cat with no hat, but with a tie. He was obsessed with cats. He had a one called A Plethora of Cats, and there was 392 cats on that painting. He painted 392 cats.
What a weird guy.
What a weird guy. I forgot to mention, he won an Academy Award for his war propaganda.
Really?
Yep.
Back then he won the award?
Yeah.
Wow.
He won an Academy Award for racism.
Of course he did.
Did you see the way he drew those Japanese people? He deserves an award for that.
Some people think that the lips were too big, but he knew to push the envelope and make them bigger.
No, that wasn't part of the war propaganda, but they were definitely like, oh, imagine we were at war with black people. This guy would be killing it.
For sure you threw in some black people just for the fuck of it.
And I said off the top of the show that he wasn't a doctor, but he ended up getting an honorary doctorate from his school that expelled him for drinking. But now they came crawling back.
You know they're going to take that fucking doctorate away, jerks.
Oh,
somebody's probably going to pressure them to take it away.
Why not?
They did it to Bill Cosby.
Did they?
Yeah.
They got away. They got it done.
Yeah, they took away his doctorate.
He didn't like kids. He didn't want to have them. He said, "You have them. I'll just entertain them."
Did he actually say those words?
Yeah, that was one of his lines.
That's fucking weird. You have them. I'll just entertain them.
Mm. I know.
With
what
pictures.
What did the pedophiles say to the parents?
Wow, we're just throwing them.
No, I don't think Dr. Seuss is a pedophile.
The dirt right now. Walking around just painting weird pictures of Negroes.
Yeah.
Check out this doodle of a Negro I just made. Very big lips.
He also had a closet of wacky hats, full of wacky hats. Now, I don't know if you know any wacky hat guys, but
I do actually.
Tell me about them. What do you think of wacky hat guys?
He wears hats.
Hats
that are a little wacky. Yeah, my buddy Mike. He wears odd hats.
Does he have a closet full though? Has he leaned into being a wacky hat guy? 100%.
He has quite a few hats.
This looks so sad.
Yeah, what is that? That's like a Zizzle Zop looking into its hand or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird shit.
What have I done?
Yeah, like that type of shit.
His stuff is like, it looks like it would be scary to look at it on acid. I'm sure he's done some drugs.
Well, if he was up in the 50s and he was like a well-to-do person, he was for sure doing acid.
For sure.
All of the elite owners of Time magazine, all these people were doing acid back then, like crazy, off of the advice of Timothy Leary.
Wow.
All of them were doing it, and they were doing pure acid.
The purest of the pure. Yeah, man. So, I don't know. When I think about Dr. Seuss,
he's very racist.
But I think back to, one of my favorite books as a kid, I Love You Forever. You know that one?
No. Is it by him?
No, it's by Robert Munsch. Fuck Dr. Seuss. I'm a Robert Munsch guy. Robert Munsch, great guy. He made Canadian and American hits.
No racist shit.
The Paper Bag Princess. You know about that one?
No. What's that? I've heard the title, but I don't actually know.
That's Robert Munsch. All I'm saying is they didn't make movies like Dr. Seuss over here, but
so he was super racist, and I doubt there's any statues of him.
Classic.
Oh, okay, I've seen that before.
I'm surprised you never had I Love You Forever. You should give it to your mom. She'll be like, wow, this is a sweet book.
Give it to my mom.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's basically like the ultimate mama's boy book.
So you're just like assuming I'm a mama's boy? Is that it?
No, it's just a classic. I gave it to my mom for Mother's Day one year. It's just a fucking, why not throw that in?
I love you forever.
Now we're talking Robert Munch, but yeah, Dr. Seuss. Let's talk about it. Dr. Seuss.
There's no
In a time of there's books. They literally. Okay, now another interesting thing is this whole canceling books, whatever. People are saying, oh, the leftists are canceling Dr. Seuss. Da, 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 da. But I've also seen things where it's like nobody's canceling anyone. It was just Dr. Seuss's like estate was like, let's stop releasing these 6 books because they're a little questionable. Like I think they just didn't want to get caught up in shit. So they're like preemptive strike took them down.
Did they do that?
That's what's being said. They're like, nobody even told us to. We just did it. Like it wasn't like nobody called out those books. They got ahead of it. And then people were like, oh, the anti-cancel culture people jumped on the story as, oh, cancel culture took down Seuss, but they didn't.
They just felt compelled to. Yeah, I could see that. That's like the people who were voicing cartoon characters that would be like African American or like half African American, and those people were stepping down from those roles because they thought an African American person should fill those shoes.
Yeah,
like it's the same type of shit. It's like you can blame cancel culture for that because those people are virtue signaling towards the people who are for cancel culture.
True.
When they do shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is so whack.
What I learned looking at Dr. Seuss stuff, I did find out the guy was racist. I didn't even know that. But then I found out he was born in 1904, and I'm like, of course he was racist.
Yeah, he was born into racism. Like they just like the fumes of slavery were just dissipating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by his ability to make a book with just 50 words and make it a hit.
He's like a Lil Pump.
I think he might have killed his wife and nobody's talking about it. You heard it here first on Pros and Conquerors, the Bad Boys of History. I've heard other people talking about, oh, she committed suicide. But then I looked a little into that note.
Nah.
That note, who writes a suicide note like that?
Yeah, who does that?
Who finds out their husband's cheating and writes a suicide note, letting him off the hook 100% and not calling any? It's basically like, what the hell?
Hey, you know what? Your life's just going okay, and I'm just gonna kill myself so you can just.
I'm just gonna get out of your way, and I just want to make sure anyone that wants to guilt you for it, it ain't your fault.
Holy fuck! Yeah. I definitely think. I think he had something to do with that. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Like when you read that note, I was like, oh, this does not seem like a person who's about to kill themselves.
I also think his midnight art series. Guys, check it out. It's pretty cool.
That's why it got so dark.
I wasn't even making that tie-in, but does this look like the mind of a guy?
That's why he has that picture of the thing looking at itself.
Oh, okay.
That's him trying to look at himself and reconcile what he's done through this dark art. Yeah, if you were taking acid and you looked at these, you'd be.
Except for this one, like this one looks kind of just cool.
That kind of looks like a Tribe Called Quest album cover. That's the type of shit.
Man, this guy would make good album art.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Stankonia and shit.
He'd be like, can I interest you boys in a little bit of black people with huge red lips?
Come on. I'm talking about this shit. The Midnight series. Not his...
You're
talking about his old advertising campaign when mans just needed to sell bug spray. Hey, we're trying to sell gas over here. We're going to need some really racist shit.
I can do racist, but I really like cats.
Everyone's going across the street for the guy with the cheaper gas. But we can have the black guy with the bigger lips. And then we can get people in this store.
That cat's going like this. He's like...
Yeah. Chalking up the queue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What I learned, Dr. Seuss, probably racist, but you should probably check out his Midnight Art series. That's worth checking out.
Yeah.
You can throw out all his books. Check out all his art. The art is sick. The art is really cool.
You know... I think if there's any statues,
take them down.
Yeah, depending on where.
As a guy that just looked more into him. Say you had a kid, 4 years old. You're gonna bring some books home, some children's books. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna bring any Dr. Seuss books in your house? Do you care? What?
I don't.
Because some people are saying they learned how not to be racist.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You'd have to comb over the book first to make sure. See, before this...
I just mean supporting him as a guy, though. Not like what's in the book. I just mean, would you put money into his empire?
Well, I gotta see what's in the book. If the book,
If the book, like Green
the-
Eggs and Ham, there's nothing extra in there, you know.
I gotta read that over now. I gotta see everything. I gotta look at everything
Well,
with
there's
like
only
a
50
double
words in it,
lens.
so you'll be all right.
When this guy does that shit, Green Eggs and Ham, Green Eggs and Ham could be a metaphor for like a black person.
Yeah, before we wrap up, actually, I will go
Who
through
knows?
it. The Lorax also had it's a obvious in its intent. That's one's about environmentalism. That's the message, that one. And then How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the importance of community, fostering a community.
And coming together against one asshole who's trying to destroy your holiday. Yo.
And Green Eggs and Ham, the hidden meaning is that is showing what a fucking dope ass artist you are, and how if your friend says, "Oh, you can't make a book with just 50 words," and you're like, "Suck my dick, pussy," I will. And then he did.
He's like, I was gonna draw some pictures of some Negroes with huge lips, but I'll take your challenge, sir.
Yeah, that
He put it down, pushed to the side.
just flexing on people.
Yo,
So I wonder who he saw as cats. He was really like fascinated with cats.
who he saw them as.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, he probably just saw them as cats.
He drew them like with human personalities, though.
Who knew? Who knows? Maybe he was. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was in the acid. Cause like I don't know. It's like a reach, but the Egyptians like loved cats and shit. Like maybe
Worshipped
he was
them.
like maybe he was like into that.
Yeah, plethora of cats.
He did acid and like read some shit. He was like, you know what? Those Negroes in Egypt, they had the right idea. He's like, and not that big of lips.
So you're basically like you'll still support him. You're cool with that. This is the plethora of cats. 392 cats.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
This episode we talked a lot about pictures. I'll try and post some up on our IG, guys, where I can. The point is he has some cool stuff. Maybe I'll just
Yo, and where
I'll do
you're
it.
allowed. Some of them you might not even be allowed. Some of them might get taken down. Certain ones.
What's with the N-word?
Oh yeah. High grade nigger. That's getting taken down.
Maybe we need to make a Patreon now.
We've made this the Patreon so we could post racist Dr. Seuss pictures.
So- Do you think he's confirmed racist, or do you think in the end do you think he turned his life around?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? Like, I guess you could say he turned his life around, but this is the thing. We're basing his racism just based on the books that he made, right? And then we're basing
Books that he made, ads that he made,
everything he made.
other stuff that he made. He put racism in everything he did,
But
and
then-
that seems a little bit much.
But then we're also looking at him like, oh, this guy changed based on the work that he put out. You know, like
True.
he could have
True.
just been racist the whole time through. He also could have not been racist the whole time through. They could have just been like, George, like, listen,
Yeah.
Teddy, we just need niggas. That's
Yeah.
it. Just write high grade niggas. I just need you to just do it. Maybe he was just that guy. Who knows?
1904 to 1950, probably racist. 1950 to 1991, quite possibly not racist,
You think they? I don't. See. This is
or
the thing.
getting less and less racist by the year.
And it's funny because you bring that up because when I was thinking, it's so funny because we were just talking about this guy, this nobody, fucking Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But I was like, with the things that he said, I'm like, this guy couldn't have possibly changed. But then when we bring it to this guy and like being able to see his work change over time, for some reason I'm able to change that way of thinking and think maybe he did change. It's weird. It's weird. On one thing, I'm like, no, you couldn't possibly. But with this guy, I'm like, maybe. Because, like, I guess because you can see the work. Like, the work changes.
He tried to clean shit up.
Because I make art myself, and, like, I make a lot of art about psychedelics, and it's because, like, that's what I'm into. And, like, when that changes, I'm sure that will change in my art, too, you know?
He dedicated Horton Hears a Who to a Japanese friend. He went to Japan. He made a friend. He learned about their culture a little bit. He came back. He wrote Horton Hears a Who. So he did experience another culture, and it does make you learn. If he spent his whole life around just white people, never experienced other people, then he meets a Japanese guy, realizes like, oh, these guys are my friends.
They're dope.
They're people. And he comes back. He writes a book, basically apologizing for that. And then other books are teaching other people not to be racist. So he might have actually changed,
Yeah.
and it wasn't fake, and maybe he murdered his wife, but maybe he wasn't that bad of a guy.
Yeah, I got to put that murder part aside. I got to take one thing at a time, Jesus. But yeah, it does seem like he murdered his wife.
One thing is almost for sure, he didn't rape anyone.
No, there was no
And on
rape.
this show, that's a big plus.
Yeah, on this show, that's huge. If you could just get through not raping people, that's
It's
a.
quite the blemish on your record. It's
Yeah.
hard to make excuses for rape.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
Like,
Unless
it's like, 1930. He was racist. Everyone was racist. But you can't say 1930. He was raping people. Everyone was raping people.
Yeah, you can't be like he raped 100 people.
You know what I mean?
You can't say that shit. Genghis Khan, if Genghis Khan only raped 100 people, we'd be impressed.
Yeah,
We'd
we'd
be like, wow,
wow.
only
Wait,
100?
how many off days? Yeah, so overall, I think you got to look at him in an interesting lens. And the lens is before and after he realized racism was bad.
Yeah, exactly. That, and also he could have been, like I said before, he could have been doing psychedelics. Could have been doing
Which will come
acid
up to
and
other
shit.
stuff too, yeah.
Yeah, and like he could have just changed over time. Who knows? Who knows, man?
Who knows?
But I would say the cancellation of him now, like whether or not it's the company that did it themselves or people who are trying to do it, I think that it's, I don't know, it's weird because I think it's unnecessary, but also very necessary to know about those books in those images. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you need to know about that. But do we need to get rid of every single, start burning all his books? I don't think so.
Yeah. He put, yeah.
The racist ones we should definitely get rid of, though.
He did some bad stuff. He did some good stuff. This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. I'm a Robert Munch guy. Find the flaws in Robert Munch. I dare you. This guy was a great guy.
I'm an Are You Afraid of the Dark guy. That's
I
what
listened to
like.
his book on tape. I used to have it as a kid. Robert Munch's book on tape, and he would narrate the story and everything. Great storyteller.
Great voice. Great voice.
You know
for
about
that
Robert
shit.
Munch?
I know about Robert Munch just in the sense of I'm pretty sure he was in the movie The Secret.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure he's in that.
See?
Wait, did he write Chicken Soup for the Soul?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He didn't? Okay, that guy's in it. Never mind.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know Robert Munch. I didn't read back then, man. Fuck. I like to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark on YTV.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely Are You Afraid of the Dark over Goosebumps. Remember they used to come on back to back?
Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark is so much better.
Yeah, it's scary.
So much better.
I can remember one episode that really scared me. They were in a pool, and there's a guy in the bottom of the pool that like pulls people down. It's fucked up. Anyways, I think that's it for us this week on
That was our generation's Black Mirror.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Nah.
Yeah, kind of.
Right?
I thought X-Files kind of was too.
True.
All
right, what are we ending it?
Yep.
It was great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Your beard's looking good. Pause. I'll pause it.
Anyways, guys, if you learned anything today, don't murder your wife. Unless you're really good at writing a cool suicide note.
And don't draw black people unless you can really draw black people. You can't just phone it in with a black face and huge red lips. That's a no-go in 2021. Okay,
Yeah,
guys?
And if you're going to draw Asians, like, what the fuck's up with that nose, Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, give it a little detail.
The eyes can chill a little bit. Like, let's give them a pupil. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah.
Tear down those fucking Dr. Seuss statues.
Yeah, if
I
you have a
will not
Dr.
have
Seuss
it.
statue,
I
kick rocks.
will not have it in my house. I don't care if it's the size of a mouse.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you could keep going with it.
I wasn't ready. I was so ready to just wrap it up.
Pros and Conquerors.
Progress on Conquerors, the bad boys of history. You can follow me at gem_easy and also at bare ass quotes. You want to get inspired? You want to see writing? You want to see people that said dope shit? Yeah.
This guy's the motivational speaker of 2021. You don't want guys who just focus on positivity all day. You want guys who got some positivity and some ass for you. Pause.
Dr. Seuss quote, "Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you." Put that on the ass. You're going to see that on the ass Monday.
Yo, that's a good one. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.
That's actually
Thank you for listening to Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. Rate, review, subscribe, and share. And remember to participate on our Instagram and shit and all that good stuff and blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Instagram